All right, we are back with another pick'em video. Going to be going over my favorite plays for the NBA today. I'm up late, so I thought I'd attack some early value. We got a ton of games, and they're popping off the page right now. So I wanted to get you guys these picks, before they get bumped. Potentially a day for a second video. If this gets a lot of traction, if you guys are hitting me up in the comments that you want some later value, maybe I can go ahead and do that. So do me a favor, like the video, subscribe if you are new, and then again, comment anything down below. It just helps you to push this video out. We had a absolutely ridiculous weekend in the Rich Club, I call it. That's the premium Discord. You can try out the free Discord. Also, guys, I'm really just want more people in the community as we continue to grow. If you use any of my codes for Underdog, for Sleeper, for Chalkboard, even for like DG Fantasy, hit me up in my DMs. I'll give you like 2 months free of the Rich Club. Again, I just want good people in there, and that will continue, for a limited time as we continue to grow. But absolutely insane game. We talked about this play. I'll zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit. For the video picks, last time we talked about Bogdanovich. We talked about, or was this yesterday? Was this 2 days ago? No, this was today. Yeah, we talked about Bogdanovich. We talked about Vince Williams. We talked about Chet. All those guys cash. We hit this 6-man. I ran this out a few different ways today. I hit a 4-man for 200. My unit size is $20, by the way. So pretty crazy day in terms of units. We hit this the other day, so back-to-back days with a 6-man, and then also the 10x ran it up. So just continued to go crazy this weekend, and it was absurd. Now for the official video picks, again, I talked about those three. If you wanted to play them, they had moved, but they all cashed after the movement. For the video picks, we did talk Scotty Barnes, blocks and steals. He only ended up getting 2. I saw a comment down below. I didn't end up going and looking at it, but he was saying he got like 4 blocks that they just didn't count. So interesting there, but he did play, kind of all around game, second half game for sure. Ended up having like 26 points or something. Just unfortunate there for the hook. Sadiq Bey crushed this line, and then Vucevic just didn't have as good a game as I thought he was going to. So video picks ended up going 1 and 3. But again, we talked about those other lines, and crazy day in the Discord. So continuing to grow, definitely check that out if you guys want to. And again, if you just sign up using my code, you guys should be on Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard anyway, so you can get market value. You can get the promotions they throw at us. Wild Card Wednesday is pretty much like Taco Tuesday over on Sleeper. Underdog has promotions, Freaky Friday, and things like that. So if you want to get in the club, join a cool community that just continues to grow. I want more cool people in there. So yeah, check it out. And that will be going for a limited time. And again, 2 months free. Can't really beat that. But let's attack the board. Tons of value right now, guys. And we'll just start off with Rudy Gobert. Going to be talking 12.5 rebounds. I can definitely see this thing getting bumped. But we'll go to Outlier, which, again, just had an ridiculous update. They now have fantasy scores. They're integrated with PrizePicks and Underdog on the desktop version. So I have the PrizePicks tag clicked open. I don't have to worry about these lines not being on PrizePicks. And I literally attacked, I think I can pull it up right here, but I showed this in the other video. I was attacking like dunk lines. This is one that we just missed. I was attacking dunk lines because now we have that stat. So look at this. Giannis dunks. I was doing a fantasy score for like first half fantasy score, which I've never done. So just Outliers getting insane. Definitely hit that link. That also has a free trial, so can't really beat that. But yeah, absurd value in this right now. And just kind of eye-opening in terms of some new props that we can attack that we didn't used to have. But those kind of odd lines come out later in the day. Dunks, field goals attempted, first half fantasy score, those things like that tend to come out a little bit later. So we're going to attack some normal lines, but again, really liking the value. So starting off with Rudy Gobert, let's go to his line. Going up against OKC, so great matchup for him. And a team he's played 3 times already this year. This is not like minutes dependent, but definitely nice if he gets his normal, 30 minutes per game. These are the head-to-head games right here. He faced off against these guys right here. 16 rebounds in one of those games, only 5 in another one. But this was kind of a blowout 20-point game, kind of going OKC's way. Then he had 18 boards back just a few days ago. So in terms of the matchup, pretty solid. They give up they give up 45.1 rebounds per game, which is 25th ranked. So definitely a solid matchup in terms of rebounds allowed. To center position, it's 24th ranked at 12.9. So that's good to see as well. And then in 2023 as a whole, he's only gone over this in 47% of the games. But again, a lot of these red squares are earlier, or rectangles, I guess you would say. And he's been rebounding the ball really well lately. So last 10 games looks a little bit better, 60% of the last 10. And again, a lot of these games that he is missing, especially early on in the year, were kind of minutes dependent. So if he's getting 25 minutes, he might not get there, but he's been getting a lot of run and been playing well. So I like Rudy Gobert going up against Chet. He's kind of got that old man strength, both kind of lengthy, tall guys. But Gobert's been in the league for a while, knows how to bang down low with the big guys, and he should be able to move them around a little bit. So loving Gobert here at 12.5. Hopping over to DG Fantasy, that's the fantasy optimizer that I use, that and Odds Jam. If you don't know what a fantasy optimizer is, it pretty much just shows you market value. So they're integrated with PrizePicks, Underdog, all these pick'em sites. And it just shows where these other sports books have their lines, whether they, some lines are 12.5 on Underdog, let's say, or sorry, on PrizePicks, and then they might be 13.5 everywhere else. So it points out those lines. So it's a great place to start. And then when lines are similar like this, you can see, oh, why is it giving it a 53.85% chance to hit over this 12.5 line for Gobert? It's because DraftKings has this at minus 145 value. It's very much favored to go over this 12.5. And that's shown on BetMGM, Caesars, Fliff, even on FanDuel, it's minus 128. So everything is favored on the over here. This is one that will probably get bumped to 13, I could see. But yeah, just getting some great market value. If you're interested in daily grind fantasy or a fantasy optimizer in general, I highly recommend it. Check my link in the description. You'll get 25% off your first month. And it's a tool I use every single day. It gives you a crazy value and great place to start when you're looking for props. So it loves this line, 53.85% chance to hit. Love to see that, especially with the matchup and the hit rate. And then going over to our projections model, this is RotoWire. This is an absolutely free tool right now, which is wild. But if you hit my link in the description, it just lets them know that I sent you there. And this lets you see, a bunch of stuff in one spot and gives their projection model, which is, one of the best for sure. They're saying 14.45 for this rebounds line. So everything pointing towards the over on this one. And yeah, just loving this Gobert line. So we'll start there. 12.5 rebounds for Rudy Gobert. Next up, going to be going right back to the rebounds line. Now, this one is in the populars tab at 8.5 rebounds for Lauri Markkanen. My Discord likes to say that these are cursed. They can be very misleading. You never know if this is, fire. Everyone's taking the over, everyone's taking the under. Once it gets bumped to 9, it will still be in here. You don't know if it's been bumped already. So we're getting great value here. Don't be too scared about these popular tabs, but don't just go based off these. But Lauri Markkanen over 8.5 looks great. Let's go over to Outlier to check out what he's been doing, recently so far this year. And he's been crushing this line. Has a decent matchup as well. So let's check him out. 8.5 rebounds going up against Brooklyn. As you can see, the head-to-head matchup looks really good. This was this year. These other two were, prior years. So don't pay too much attention to these, but it is nice to see that he has hit as well. But had 10 against these guys back in December. In 2023 as a whole, gone over in 57% of the games, but you see a whole lot of green lately, and he's been rebounding the ball lately a lot. In terms of minutes, he gets around 35 minutes a game, so expecting that in a 1-point spread. So really, really good to see that. Hopefully not a blowout where he gets his minutes limited. And again, whole bunch of green lately. Look at the last 10. It's 80% of the last 10. In terms of the last 20, it's 70% of the last 20. So love to see that. Rebounds allowed is 21st ranked. I think I already said that, but 44.5 rebounds to be had. And again, 9, that's all we need. But he's been getting, up to 14 rebounds. And some of these are really, really early in this game. So he could get these quick. So 8.5 boards looking really nice. Let's go check out the odds over on DG Fantasy. Let's get Lauri up here. We're seeing that turnovers line is actually popping up. It only has 2. Yeah, just glitched out. But turnovers line popping up on the under. It only has 3, I guess, now. Data points. So that's something you could definitely look at. I did look at it. The hit rate wasn't amazing. And Brooklyn doesn't force a whole lot of turnovers. So don't love that. But the odds are favoring that. So this is a positive EV play. And then we're seeing a couple other lines popping up. Is his rebounds line? Sometimes this happens. I might need to give it a refresh. Okay, so it looks like I couldn't find it because they actually just took it off the board. When I went back to PrizePicks, it said that some projections have been taken off. That's okay. The line's probably just moving. I would think it's probably going to 9. So again, we were just attacking really good value. That's the magic of these fantasy optimizers. Everything looked good. The hit rate, you could honestly probably still take it at 9. It's just not as good at EV. But if it comes up at 8.5, we'll definitely be liking that. So Lauri Markkanen, kind of our second play. But we're going to be talking about 5, so don't worry about that. Let's hop into the next one, though. Going to be going to Collin Sexton, a guy we've gone to recently. He's been absolutely crushing it. Collin Sexton. We're going to be going to his 27.5 PRA that I'm also not seeing. So Jazz lines might just be moving. So maybe we'll tack that after. So let's go to Trey Jones while we're waiting. But Trey Jones going up against the Washington Wizards. I'm going to be going to his 11.5 points, or sorry, his rebounds and assists. I think Wemby could have a really good game. His lines are just a little bit too inflated for me. And Trey Jones and him have a really good connection in terms of assists. He might cross this with assists alone, but he had a big game against these guys very recently. So the hit rate's not going to look incredible, but again, did just play these guys and crush them, and he's getting a ton more minutes after he started starting games. So he should get an extended run, 35 plus minutes. And again, great matchup against Washington. But let's go into his page, check out what he's been doing lately. Again, that's the bigger one here. Just because he wasn't starting at the beginning of the year. Let's go to 14. Sorry, no, what are we at? 11.5 rebounds and assists. Here we go. So we see Washington, great matchup in terms of rebounds and assists allowed, at dead last. So they gave up a whole bunch of these things. The three matchups they've had, these were last year, but this one was just a few days ago. 20, he had 12 and 8. So that was great. Wemby played in this game. Wemby didn't have a whole bunch of rebounds, but he could have a decent amount today. But again, the 12 assists right there would cross the threshold for us. That's all we need. In terms of the hit rate all year, again, doesn't look great. 9 of 41 games. You can see the minutes have not been there all year. You can see a very big jump in minutes recently. So assuming he gets 30 plus minutes, this will probably look a little bit better in terms of hit rate. Yeah, when he gets even 28 minutes, 58% of the time looks a lot better. But the best matchup you can get is the Wizards. And again, he crushed this line against these guys. So I'm going to be attacking it. Definitely a little personal play. Someone I wanted to attack today. I think Devin Vassell could be a good attack spot. Really, any of these Spurs players going up against the Wizards. And then honestly, vice versa, Kyle Kuzma could be a great spot for him going up against the Spurs. He had a good game against these guys recently. So I think, but yeah, just a good teams to attack in terms of offense and overs. But Trey Jones looking really good right here. Let's go to his fantasy optimizer, see what they're saying over on the market. We'll pull up Trey Jones, and we're seeing 11.5 rebounds and assists popping up as his best line, 52.6% chance to hit. Everywhere's got this 11.5 around minus 130 value. So pretty solid to see there. And again, the hit rate's not incredible in terms of the whole year, but he's definitely getting a lot of run and beginning to play with Wemby a lot more. Wemby's up to 30 minutes now, and they have a great connection. So loving that. I do want to point out on the projection model, they don't love this line, 11.5. They're projecting 10.83. It's not like ridiculously on the under, but that is something I like to point out. Again, I'm not hiding anything from you guys. I give as much data as possible. It's ultimately up to you if you want to take it, but it's something that I like today. The projections aren't loving it. But if you want to go attack Trey Jones, maybe the points and rebounds line, if you're a big projections guy, they do like that one on the over. So Trey Jones over 11.5 rebounds and assists is something we're going to be going with. Next up, we're going to be going to an under, Donovan Mitchell for 37.5 points and assists. Going up against the Clippers, tough matchup for him. And unlike Trey Jones, this hit rate looks really good for the year. In terms of the head-to-head, these guys have played once this year. Sorry, these were both last year, but absolutely locked up in that matchup. It was a game that Cleveland actually won too. Obviously, take this with a grain of salt. It was last year, but this must have been a Darius Garland game or something like that. Another thing to note for this line is that Mobley is potentially coming back. In games with Mobley, the hit rate's not changed as much. He doesn't assist him an incredible amount. So in terms of the hit rate, 62% on the year, going on the under, has been playing pretty well lately. But again, tough matchup against the Clippers. Points allowed 8th ranked, assists allowed 10th ranked. And they've been playing really well. They just absolutely dominated Boston. So this is a plus 2.5 point spread. You never know. Maybe the Clippers get hot or Cleveland gets hot. So expect it to be close. But if that blowout does happen, that's good for the under. All right, that's good for the under. Let's go for the under. So the last 10 games, 50% of the last 10. Again, he has been pretty solid lately. I don't expect this one to be incredibly low. It's also home. He plays pretty well at home. If this gets bumped down to 36.5, it's probably something I don't take. But we're getting great value. It's a tougher matchup. And the hit rate on the year is looking pretty solid, especially with Mobley back in the lineup. So 37.5, we're getting great value. Let's go check out the market value that we are getting and see if we are attacking a good line. So Donovan Mitchell. Popping up right here on the under 37.5, 52.69% chance to hit. Again, we see all these other sports books are at 36.5. So just attacking some value in a game that's a tougher matchup. The projection model does love this one over here on RotoWire. 37.5. They're projecting 32.92. So that's good to see that everything is pointing towards the under on this one. So those are 3 picks for us. Let's get our 4th play in here. We should see if Lauri is back up yet. I'm not sure if that line has popped up. Looks like it's still off the board. But again, Lauri Markkanen at 8.5 rebounds. If that pops back up, definitely crush the over on that. But let's go to his teammate, Collin Sexton. Okay, so his lines are also adjusting. A lot of his lines are gone as well. This is okay. This is a good chance to be able to use the fantasy optimizer for our advantage. Going against Collin Sexton here, we can just look him up on the fantasy optimizer, see where his best line is. I was going to his over PRA at 27.5. But again, looks like those Utah Jazz lines are moving. But we can search him on the DG fantasy optimizer and kind of see, okay, what are they seeing over on PrizePicks? And looks like the over on points and assists, that looks pretty good as well. Everywhere else has this at 25.5 that has the line up. So we are getting some good value there. In terms of like first half stats and things like that, maybe we can check that over on Outlier. So let's check out Sexton. This is something you guys can do on these tools. If you think someone's going to have a good game, a player that you want to attack, and you want to just see, okay, what's like my best odds or best hit rate for this specific player. Sometimes that's how I run these out. Looks like points and assists has been pretty solid hit rate. So something we could definitely just go to instead of the PRA. They have played each other once this year, played really well against Brooklyn. It is a tougher matchup on paper. They could potentially getting Ben Simmons back too, so don't want to not say anything about that. He'll probably be on a minutes restriction. He's missed like 40 games in a row, but he is a bigger body, a bigger guard. So he might see Collin Sexton on defense a few times. But they did play last year, not last year. This was back in December, so a few months ago, and he had 33 points and assists, 27 points, 6 assists. So that's good to see. And he's been killing it lately. A whole bunch of greens since he's been getting a whole bunch of minutes lately. You can see a huge bump up here. So in games that he's getting like, I don't know, at least 26 minutes, let's say, he's gone over in 78% of those, and he's really been crushing this line. So yes, tougher matchup in Brooklyn, but a great spot for Collin Sexton. We checked out the stats here. They do like the over 53.26% chance to hit. Again, everywhere else has this at 25, so we're getting some great market value in terms of the projection model. Let's go over to RotoWire, get that last data point, and we can see Collin Sexton. So they actually don't like it on the over here. They're projecting 22.58. Again, everything else is blue. Pick'em sites or every sports books all have this at 25.5. But again, don't want to hide anything from you guys. The projections are not loving this one. But something that I like, a guy that I've been playing, very recently, a whole bunch, and he's been crushing this. I got him at 27.5 PRA, but looks like 24.5 points and assists is a solid line as well. So those 4 plays for you guys. Again, this is early action. If you want more plays later on in the day, maybe we can attack some fun dunk lines, and I can get a second video out if you guys do want that. Comment down below. But we got Rudy Gobert over 12.5 rebounds. Trey Jones over 11.5 rebounds and assists. Great matchup against Washington. Donovan Mitchell under 37.5 points and assists. Collin Sexton over 24.5 points and assists. And then remember, Lauri Markkanen over 8.5 rebounds. If that pops up, definitely go ahead and do that. So that will do it for this one. Again, hit my links in the description for any free trials or discounts on any of the tools I was using. I highly recommend all of them. Also, if you want access to the Rich Club, is the Discord. The Discord is free to join, but if you want access to all my slips and be part of that exclusive part of the channel, you can use any of my codes for Underdog, for Sleeper, for Chalkboard, even for DG Fantasy. Go ahead and do that. Just send me a DM in Discord, and I'll get you in the Rich Club for 2 months free. It's not something I plug enough, but definitely want to continue to grow it and just get some good people in there that can talk sports, talk props, celebrate our wins and cry about our losses, but just have a good time in there. And again, just sign up using my link, and that's all you got to do. So that will do it. Again, let me know if you guys want a follow-up video for some later lines, and I'll see you guys in the next one.